The Prattville Lions Football Review with Coach Caleb Ross. Brought to you by Gibson's Tire Pros. Dreyer Physical Therapy. Your hometown Allstate agent Lynn Norris. CBE. And Showtime Graphics.
Well, hello, Lion Nation, and welcome into the Prattville Lions Football Review. Week 1 of the playoffs in the books, and it was a thrilling double overtime victory over the Theodore Bobcats. And Coach, I don't know if you could have scripted up any other way, but it was the most exciting game we've seen in quite a while.
Probably the most proud of a group of kids I've ever had. I mean, we had some big victories over the years, even here at Prattville. But our kids, man, they never gave up. They never even really flinched, man. Even when we got down that last drive, there was no panic on the sideline. There was no panic amongst the coaches, and we executed. And in some key situations, we executed. Didn't really play bad in the first half, but I'd say to give the edge to Theodore. They probably outplayed us a little bit, but our kids really responded well. We come in, made some adjustments, really made some good adjustments on the defense side of the ball. Got a really good couple drives going on offense. Really had the momentum and gave it away. But our kids, man, kind of with their backs against the wall, man, made plays. And you get into overtime, you're on the road, in the playoffs, an intense environment. And I'm very proud to say that, man, we made the plays and they didn't. So, man, kudos to our kids. It's a big win. I mean, first playoff win since 2014. That's obviously a major goal. We want to go win it all, but we had to, you got to do it one step at a time. And big win. Especially, and Theodore was a good football team. They were really a good football team. I know I said this on the air Friday night. You watch, sometimes you put on the tape, okay, they're good. They're really good. But then as you go on throughout the week, you watch them and you're like, okay, I see where there's some holes. I see where we can take advantage of some things. Now, we really liked our plan. Mm-hmm. But I had to say, man, from a personnel standpoint, the more I watched them, the better they got. Yeah. I mean, they're like, man, they are really good. So, I was proud to get that win, especially in the circumstance, the first round playoffs, the chance to go advance. It was a big night for the Prattville Lions.
The strength of that Theodore team was clearly their defense. Just really, really tight on the defensive front and the secondary. We're down 14-7 with the ball deep in our territory with just a little over 3 minutes left, and you got to engineer a drive to keep the season alive. Take us through that last drive.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a couple formations we thought that gave them trouble, and we tried to take advantage of that. We felt like we had some leverage on them in those formations. We thought Taggart had the hot hand, so man, we felt like he gave us kind of the best chance at maybe getting 6-7 yards a carry there if we could. But man, they were really good. So I think we got ourselves in a 4th and 4, and we went to a tight end under screen that we'd hit earlier in the game in the first half. We did it from the left side, so we thought that was kind of the best chance. It was really kind of a gamble. If they played it the same way they did the first half, then we were going to be in good shape. If they played it really any different, the season may be over with. But they played it the same way, man, we were able to execute it. Really got both guards up on the linebackers. Taylor caught it underneath and ran for the first down. So, and really saved. We're kind of there. I guess it might have been 2nd and 10, or I don't know really what the situation was, but we run like a little mesh play underneath for the dig in behind it. And, man, really good call that situation. Mm-hmm. Caught them in man coverage, got a natural rub on their defender, and Isaiah popped out wide open on the other side. Kyle hit him, ran it down to the 3. And then, man, Mason Taylor and then we went to our Hulk package, and, man, they weren't going to be denied. No. So, we sent it overtime. That was a really big drive, probably the biggest drive of the season.
Oh, no doubt about it. And then taking it into overtime. First time these Lions have been in overtime since the 2014 playoffs against Baker in round 1 down in Baker. And that turned out really good for us. This one had to go an extra overtime period, but 2 overtimes, you pull out the win. Talk about those overtime periods and the tension right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you're trying to, as a head coach, you're trying to keep things as normal as possible. And that's why, I try not to be very emotional. That's just not my personality. We try to, keep our kids. We don't want them being too high, but you don't want them being too low, man. It's never as bad as you think. And we got to be able to focus when things are going well. So, man, our kids really handled it well. We won the toss, put them on defense. I think the first play they got 5 or 6 yards, but then we made a huge play to get them in long situation. Credit their kicker, man. He that's against the wind, made a incredible kick to send it to at least get their points on the board. And then we liked our plan. We had some good stuff. We got on the right hash. If we could have been on the left hash, we really thought we had some things, just some stuff that we'd not shown, maybe on some boot stuff. But anyway, it didn't work out that way. They stopped us, and man, big time, Elliott Duke, man, come in, and you think, well, that's a 27-yard field goal, but with the wind situation, right hash, man, that might as well have been a 42-yard field goal. I mean, so he did but I'll tell you this, man, that kid's just got a lot of resiliency about him. He's got, man, I told his daddy, I said, he's constituted well. I didn't really doubt, man. I just never, I know he had the rough night against Auburn a few weeks ago, but he had a good week in practice, and I just never doubted, man. I say, don't make I didn't even say a word to him. Matter of fact, I told our staff, don't say anything to the snapper, don't say anything to our kicker, all right? Just, hey, everything's usual as normal. And, man, to keep the environment the same, he knocks it through, going to second overtime. And then, we really thought we had some stuff we could hit. We'd saved, too. Man, we had a little something, we did a little wedge play that we ran. It was pretty good success. We got down to the 3, and we had been running a laser rocket screen. I know that's what we call it, where we shoot Spencer out to the flats, and we kind of read the leverage. If we like it, we'll throw it. If not, we hand the football off. Just a RPO, a run pass option type deal. And they were starting to jump it. They jumped it pretty heavy that first overtime and tackled us on, I believe, the 5, or maybe jumped it right before. Excuse me. They jumped it pretty heavy right for the end of the game there. So we thought, hey, we had a slant off of it, and great call by Matt Malone. Thought we could get that in there, and sure enough, Isaiah's wide open in the back of the end zone. And 2 big stops on defense. They boot it out. AP plays it, sniffs it out. We get them in a 4th and long, and man, at that point, man, I felt pretty good. We were going to get after it here, and great job by Trey Thompson of knocking that ball down, batting it away from the guy. Because the guy actually went up and made a good play, had his hands on the ball. Trey Thompson knocks it down, knocks it through, and Lions win. So, man, great. Hey, that's what you want, man. It's a great situation there that favored us.
Ball hits the ground, game over. The celebration ensues on the field. And I don't know if it felt this way for you, Coach. For us, it felt like a sigh of relief. You finally got over this first-round hump that has taken us the better part of 5 years to get over. What's that feel like for these players, for this team, to actually still be alive after round 1?
Yeah, and I this is probably being as truthful as possible, man. It was a big win. It was. I think I knew it. I think the kids knew it. We needed to get. You hate to put that type of stigma or pressure on anybody, because it's really not fair. The best team's going to win. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and it's going to play out the way it is, and the future's really, really bright for Prattville football. But I realize how big that win was. But here's the deal. I know our kids. I know me. Winning just one playoff game is not the goal. You know what I mean? And we're very excited, and you had to have that big win. It did mean a lot. But we've got to keep that same momentum, man. Well, here we are. We got this great opportunity. You're playing a really good football team at Central. We know that. I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But we can't, let's say, all right, we won the one playoff game, and hey, that's as good as it's going to get. We got to bottle that up and continue on to this week. But yeah, it was a big win for this program.
Absolutely, a double overtime first round win for the Lions, 24-17 over the Theodore Bobcats. Let's take a look at those highlights right now.
And it is taken down in the backfield. Big shot. A.J. Gary takes him down at the 14-yard line. 17-14 your score. Lions looking to tie. Snap down and the kick is up. It is high enough and plenty long. And it's good. It is good. Elliott Duke puts it through. 17-17 your score. And we're headed to a second overtime period. Kramer from the shotgun from the 3.5-yard line. Second down. And here is Kramer to pass it. And it's a touchdown in the end zone. Touchdown, Prattville. Touchdown, Prattville. Touchdown, Prattville. Wow. Kramer to the back of the end zone.
Causey, is it Causey?
Isaiah Causey with the biggest catch of his life. Third and goal for the Bobcats from the 7-yard line. Lions up 24-17. Second overtime.
Corner in the end zone, Porter. Corner of the end zone.
Giving pressure. Got it. Got him at the 15-yard line. A.P. Coleman with the sack, and the Bobcats are down to their last gasp here. Win or go home on this play right here. They drop the snap. Rolling around the ground and throws it into the end zone. And it is incomplete! Incomplete! The Lions have won! The Lions have won it! 24-17 over the Bobcats of Theodore. And the Lions advance to round 2 of the 7A playoffs. What a game! What a win for Coach Ross and his staff. And these boys, they did not want to give up the ghost. They live on to play another day. Woo! What a game.
With over 35 years of automotive experience, Gibson's Tire Pros has the answers.
Mo thinks we're having trouble with the curb. How should we fix that? Me and Mo are into the same girl. Who do you think she should pick? Do you guys think Mo's nose is too big?
Of all these questions, I feel like we should have been life coaches.
Nah, let's just stick to tires and automotive.
Yeah.
Gibson Tire Pros, we advise, you decide.
In our profession, we see a lot of remarkable recoveries. One thing that each success story has in common is the courage needed to take that first step. At Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the expert opinion you need, so we've made that first step free. Sign up for a complimentary screen at any Dreyer location today, and we'll assess your condition and recommend the best next steps to get you back on the road to recovery. Call or click today to schedule your complimentary screen. DreyerPT.com/screen.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Prattville Lions Football Review. Will Barrett visiting with head coach Caleb Ross, looking back at last week's 24-17 double overtime victory over the Bobcats of Theodore. And now, Coach, week 12, time to go back inside the Lions cage, this time with one of the biggest Lions we got, Ethan Bittle.
Yeah, man, obviously, man, this is a great segment. You know, something I told you, Stacey Mills said last year wanted to do this, and, man, it's been phenomenal. Ethan Bittle's another guy, one of our favorite guys on the team, and, man, he plays with a big heart on Friday night. Really good football player. I'm glad to see Lion Nation get a little glimpse of his personality.
Let's go inside the Lions cage with number 74, Ethan Bittle.
Ethan Bittle, offensive lineman, left guard, class of 2020. I say McDonald's.
What's your go-to order?
After a game, I get tired, so I go there and get like chicken nuggets, 10-piece, with some fries and something. It too. I don't know. I'll take a shot every day. Probably Taylor Swift, 22. Samuel Jackson.
Your favorite movie, Samuel L.
Probably either Pulp Fiction or The Hitman.
I like it.
Tough one. I mean, when he gets mad, it's pretty funny. Probably the Hulk. Tacos.
From where are your favorite tacos?
I don't like Taco Bell tacos. Probably like a true Mexican restaurant. I guess pretty good tacos. Probably Mr. Davis from my period. I mean, not for the teacher part. He's just an interesting guy. He's pretty funny. Probably Drake.
Any Drake song?
Pop style, and I like the songs. Probably has to be Saquon Barkley. I would have to be Deshaun.
Well, since he picked you, that would probably be our go-to tag team right there.
Yeah, me and him have gotten to a couple times in practice before. We were practice one day. Well, it's been happening a couple times in the summertime. It's hot, 100 degrees. We're mad. He's like, it's about to be in a practice. We're just mad. You know, we're trying to get this done. Like, go to work. And then one time I was pulling, hit him. I hit him pretty hard. He hit me pretty hard too. I mean, when we hit each other, it's like a wall hitting a wall. And we just got into it. I slung him down. He slung me down. It was a hot day that day. Probably Chris Ross.
All right.
What are we doing up front? Like, probably my dad or God, because he's always helped me. Always helped me through times, and like I almost quit football a couple times when I was in 7th grade. I just never really liked it. I mean, not that I didn't like it. I was pretty lazy. I mean, and I get it now, but I didn't really get it when I was a kid. But he's helped me through times and pushed me through, and made me want to play football.
That's good.
He's the most improved offensive lineman in a year's period. Hooray for Prattville, hooray for Prattville. Someone in the stands yelling, hooray for Prattville. 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me who you're yelling for, Prattville. That's who.
Woo!
With over 35 years of automotive experience, Gibson's Tire Pros has the answers.
Mo thinks we're having trouble with the curb. How should we fix that? Me and Mo are into the same girl. Who do you think she should pick? Do you guys think Mo's nose is too big?
Of all these questions, I feel like we should have been life coaches.
Nah, let's just stick to tires and automotive.
Yeah. Gibson Tire Pros, we advise, you decide.
In our profession, we see a lot of remarkable recoveries. One thing that each success story has in common is the courage needed to take that first step. At Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the expert opinion you need, so we've made that first step free. Sign up for a complimentary screen at any Dreyer location today, and we'll assess your condition and recommend the best next steps to get you back on the road to recovery. Call or click today to schedule your complimentary screen. DreyerPT.com/screen.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Final segment here of the Prattville Lions football review. Will Barrett visiting with head coach Caleb Ross, looking back at the 24-17 double overtime victory in the first round of the playoffs against the Theodore Bobcats on the road down in Theodore. And now it's time to flip the page and start looking at the Central Phoenix City Red Devil matchup that has been on everybody's mind since week 3. But before we do that, Coach, a lot of great individual efforts last Friday night that I know you are just would love to talk about.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the first people, and I'll go from defense first. Will McQuiston played really, really good football, man. He, when Dominique went out, we really play about 6 or 7 guys up front, and Will's obviously a senior starter and all that, but he really had to kind of anchor down and play more of the load with Dominique out. Played really good football. Man was physical, made plays when we needed to, so he had a big night. Broderius Lewis continues to be just a dominating force in the middle. He was strong again. Mason Taylor. I mean, people appreciate how good of a football player he is. He's hard to block. He's really good. Instincts are off the charts. He gets up under blocks. He had an outstanding night. And really, I thought our 2 safeties played well. Jameer Cromley and Wade White. And then Trey Thompson had some big tackles when needed. And so did our 2 outside guys, Ian Jackson and AP Coleman. So really good night defensively. Offensively, the best night our offensive line's had all year.
Yep.
Played a really good unit in Theodore, and I thought we played really well. We did. We were physical. We challenged them that Theodore was going to be big and physical. We challenged our unit to match their physicality, and man, we had a great night. We challenged them to give Kyle some time to throw the football, and they did. So really, really proud of our offensive line. From a receiver standpoint, man, I thought Taylor Thompson probably had his best game of his Prattville High School career. He didn't have like the eye-popping. He had 8-9 catches, but he didn't have 11 night like he did against Enterprise last year. But Theodore was really good. We challenged Taylor to be obviously the best receiver and to be very physical in his run game blocking. He was outstanding. Played really, really good football. Really proud of him. Isaiah, it was really good to see Isaiah Causey come in and have some huge catches. I know he was the player of the week and very deserving. Man, hit 2 or 3 really big catches down the stretch. Obviously the big touchdown catch to help win the game. I thought he played well. I thought Kyle, man, had a really good night. Kyle was dialed in. He went through his progressions. You take back really the bad throw in the back of the end zone. Besides that, man, he played really good against a really good defense. I mean, there's sometimes they had tight coverage and he's putting the ball in small windows. So thought he played really well. Then our running backs, man, it was good to see Taggart back. I thought he looked really good, and he's rusty. You can tell some things, but he had a good night. And then Keandre Powell, man, steady. So proud of both sides. Special teams and that win, that gust, is tough. I thought Elliott Duke, the field goal he made in overtime, man, you look and it's a 28, 29-yard field goal, but that win, man, it was tough. So really proud of that. Like I said, that's probably individually. There's a lot of guys we could mention, but and I'm going to give this shout out, man. We've sometimes people look at the guys that make the plays on Friday night, but we have a lot of guys throughout the course of a week that give our guys a great look, man. Our scout team guys that are going to be really good players in the future, or guys that may never be a starter, but you know what, their role in this team is to be a great teammate and provide great looks throughout the week, and we have a lot of guys that do that continuously. And if you don't see that type of speed and that type of action during the week, you're not ready for Friday night. So those guys provide a lot. Really want to give a shout out to our scout team guys, and we do different things to reward those guys for their practice habits. So, but overall great effort.
Absolutely, Coach. And now we turn the page to round 2 and a familiar opponent and a familiar destination, Central Phoenix City.
Yeah, I mean, don't really get much bigger than this. Central obviously is they're a great program. With this, obviously, we're familiar with them. This is the second time of playing them. We felt like we played with them the first time. They've got a great program. They got a great team. We know they've got unbelievable talent, but they do a really good job coaching them. Obviously, everybody's familiar with Jamie and the type of coach he is. He's a really good football coach, man. Just really good play caller on offense. He's obviously heavily involved in doing that. So personnel, they're big on the offensive line. I got speed at wide receiver, got length, got 2 or 3 really good running backs and 2 quarterbacks. You can look at every position. They've got a college prospect. Defensively, their D line is going to be as good as anybody we've seen, including Theodore. They're going to be really good. Linebackers are big and run, and they're always so fast in the secondary. So we're going to have to play at a really high level to win. We're capable of doing that. I know we'll have a great game plan. I know our kids will go compete. They will not back down, like I said. But we got to go play at a high level. This is what you want. If it's not going to be Central, it's going to be another really good football team this time of year. So, we're here. We got to go make the most of it. So I know I'm looking forward to it. Our kids are looking forward to it. It should be a good environment Friday night.
No doubt. No doubt. Coach, I know you got a lot of preparation before that happens, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up now. Kickoff is set for Friday night at Garrett Harrison Stadium in Phoenix City, Alabama at 7 o'clock Central Time. Make sure, Lion Nation, that you make the hour-and-a-half trip up 65 over to Central Phoenix City to see that game. Our Lions need you. They deserve it. Thanks for everybody that traveled down to Theodore. It was a great crowd at Theodore, I thought.
It was. I think we had the manyest people there as Theodore did. It was a good environment. You could hear it. I tell you, that's important too now. When we can go on the road and our guys can look up in the stands and they know there's their home crowds there behind supporting them, makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. For Coach Ross, I'm Will Barrett saying good night, God bless, and go Lions. See you next Friday.
The Prattville Lions Football Review with Coach Caleb Ross. Brought to you by Gibson's Tire Pros, Dreyer Physical Therapy, your hometown Allstate agent Lynn Norris, CBE, and Showtime Graphics.